logged in.
I'll hit it, but might work, it might not.
You might have logged on when we
Comes up, says download the app, I hit that, it just says save
Can you use
file.
go to the web?
Say again?
Can you use the other tab that says go to the web? Should be one on the left.
Yeah, I hit that, got a well, but it didn't give me, type in your request here, so I don't know. It's fine, I don't need it, we can handle this by the phone, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll let you have an agenda before you. Is there anyone that needs to add or delete anything on the current agenda?
No.
Okay, if nothing is added, what I'd like to do is start with Cole, and then what I'd like to do is have Mike Hastings follow up with his part second. And then I would like to go into executive session, and then I'll let Bob Howard do his discussion in executive session. Do we have any media present today?
They could be, we're live streaming, Darwin.
Yeah.
And the second
Okay, well,
item on the agenda was the approval of the previous minutes.
Okay, yeah. Everybody take a look at the previous minutes. Any changes or corrections from anyone? Okay, all in favor of approving the form of minutes signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, all right. We'll move along, so let's get started. Cole, I've got your report, but if you'd like to go through it, I'd appreciate it. And just start out, okay? Damn it.
We can, gotcha. Go ahead.
All right. My report is pretty quick because over the holidays we had a lot of downtime. So the network, we made no significant changes. We actually didn't add any pieces or take any out, so didn't really do much there. As far as infrastructure and servers are concerned, we updated the physical server software. They released some security enhancements in the month of December with all these different hacking softwares. They've begun to get into hardware pieces of the processor and stuff like that. So we got all those up to date. And we're pretty sure that those are good. We're going to start updating to the new 2016-2019 virtual machines that I spoke about in the last time we met. So that we'll be planning that out throughout this month and probably get started on that early next month. It really should not affect anybody's time because it'll all be done after hours. So that'll be pretty easy to do.
Okay, when you say virtual machines, what do you mean? People that are not on site?
No, so our physical servers host a cluster of virtual machines, which is basically like a Windows server, and that server is housing our file shares and stuff. So it's basically a computerized machine on another computer. It's like a container, I guess.
Okay.
But as I mentioned the last time, we're still on 2012 on some of those, and those are coming up end of life soon. So we're going to go ahead and get those updated.
Okay, I got it. Thank you.
Okay. So moving on to the projects, we did complete our PCI DSS stuff, the requirements for the State Treasurer's Office. We filled out the questionnaire and the scans that they requested we do, and everything passed. We're still working on some of the policies for users. We just introduced a new password policy, which was one of the big things that they found in our penetration scans before. So that's going to be going out to all users probably within the next week, and will be available to them.
What does PCI DSS stand for?
So let me get you the real definition. I want to say
Give me a
person
Purchase card. Payment card industry.
Yeah, payment card industry.
Sorry, I had to reach back to my brain.
Yeah, it's payment card industry data security standard.
yeah.
So
Okay, I got it. I understand.
okay. So we on our end, we just got to work on some policies and stuff for say the people that run the cash registers up in the gift shop. They have to have a policy just saying that they state they understand they're working with, personal card data and stuff like that, and they're not going to try to steal it on our end. And those are being worked on right now. So we also met with Department Information Security 2 weeks ago on some tools that they're going to help us with through the state as well. So I'll probably update on those next month when we've had a little more discussion with them on what we're going to use. The new phone system, we've been importing the stuff from the old system to the new one that we have on standby. That one will probably be within the next month. Also migrating to it. That'll be an after hours migration, and it really should not change anything for the users themselves. It mostly will change the back end stuff where we manage extensions and stuff like that. So that one should be pretty easy. The longest part is just importing everything, because we can't do a direct import from the version it's on now to the new version. And the last thing on there was just supposed to be Mike and I, but we've been talking a little bit more about the camera systems and placements and stuff, and we'll probably get together probably either later this month or early next month to see if we can nail down correct permissions and get everything sorted with that. Go ahead.
Nicole, is this just for our equipment, or is this for like security cameras?
Security cameras. So on the property. So we have some that are placed around. I think I mentioned last time we have one that like faces a tree, and all you see is the tree. So we need to look at some placement of those just to make sure we got them in the right places. Maybe add a couple over the ticket booth, especially if we have nothing there, so we don't see who comes up to that ticket window at all. And just things like that, so that we know what we have, where we need them, and then from there, I think we can probably get some cameras or move some of the current ones we have in place where we need them to make it a little bit more efficient for us. And the equipment is already in place as far as the server and the storage, so it's mostly just actual camera placement and whether we need to purchase any more of them or not, where they need to go.
Okay. All right. Anybody got any other questions of Cole? All right, Cole, I don't envy your job. I know it's difficult doing this, and I appreciate everything you do. I know IT can be a real hassle. Okay, Dr. Mike Hastings, you're up, buddy.
All right. Hopefully you received the notes that were sent out earlier this week, but
I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it.
okay. So bottom line, the top two comments, that's where the maintenance staff, the operational staff is focused, either between the flight deck, doing the flight deck steel refurbishment and painting, or working on the cargo elevators. And both are progressing along very well. It's the time of year where painting is not ideal, just because of the cold temperatures, and the paint systems have to be above 50 degrees to be applied. But then also the flight deck steel gets wet, and I think I might have mentioned that before. So what you do in the interim is basically deck crawling, and that's removing, its grunt work of just tearing up the old paint systems, grinding that out, and taking it down to the bare white metal before you can wait later in the morning to put down the top coat. So it's not real jazzy type project, but it's 40,000 square feet that has to get done, almost, maybe 20, 40 feet at a time. But it is moving along quite well. We're fortunate. We had the H3 helicopter moved out of the way, so we're getting underneath where that normally rests. We're going to knock that out, paint that section out completely, and then move that helicopter back in place. And that's kind of how we're going to approach a lot of this, is that you'll see aircraft on the flight deck steel. We'll move them forward or aft, out of the way, remediate that steel, and then put the top coat down, and then or excuse me, the primer, then the top coat, and then move the aircraft back in place. So it's a little bit of a kind of a shell game. You're just sliding aircraft back and forth as you move along and do the paint work. The cargo elevator renovation, regardless of anything else that happens with that, it's been a great success, because now we can load in straight from the pier and bring things up to the flight deck, and it reduces easily by half the amount of time whenever we have an event up there, or even in the hangar bays. So we don't have to rent a boom truck or a crane for a lot of items anymore. We can load internally. So already it's yielded great results. So what we're working on now is kind of two-pronged, is control measures. So emergency stops at each level, just in case, and then also doors to put over those cargo elevators. So when vendors use them, we don't want people walking forward on that brow and going places where they don't need to be. So that's also in conjunction. Cole's helping us out with that, because we're going to have kind of fob access to those doors before you can open the elevator platform door. You'll swipe an electronic fob. The vendor or whomever it might be will push the card in, and then the elevator won't operate until that door is closed. So it's a pretty good system. It's moving forward. I think we might be finished before May of this year, because we've made great strides.
Have you done some test runs? Have you moved some stuff on the elevator so far? Is that what I heard you say?
Yes, sir. So the 16,000 pound has been in operation all along, and that works great. The 2,500 pound bomb elevator, which is specifically supposed to be used, we're ideally going to use that for our vendors instead of using the handicap elevator. That's the next step. So we're going to load test that probably before the next month's meeting, and I'll have an answer for you then. The motor was completely disassembled and put back together. It's now back in place, and we're hooking it up to the cart. So that's next on the docket, is to load test that thing and run it up and down a few times before we start putting cargo on the smaller elevator, smaller cargo elevator.
So you got a 2,500 pound elevator, and our capacity is a 16,000 pound capacity, right?
Exactly. Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. That's good. That'll help us out a lot. Keep from having to come up the other elevator. All right.
That's right. The only last two comments, the International Diving Institute, they returned this past week, and they were here into this week. Great relationship continues. They're looking at our pier pilings, doing an assessment for us, just to see the condition. There was one that was damaged, and I'm sure Larry remembers back in Hurricane Dorian, back in the fall of 2019, it broke free, and those guys basically took care of the rest of it. It was just barely hanging on, kind of free floating right next to the Laffy. And they went in there, a couple of divers got in the water and they put it up on a barge and they got rid of it for us. No charge to us, by the way. And then next, after looking at pier pilings, they're going to take a look at clammaboard. And specifically just get a better look at the condition of the ballast water intake valves, things like that. Aircraft repairs, hopefully you had a chance to look at the report regarding the Corsair wing extension. We had a contractor out taking a look at that and some other aircraft that he could help us repair, but we got a hold of some manuals, and I think that we can internally repair the A7 wing that unfortunately failed about a week and a half ago, and repair that ourselves. So that's a good thing. Honestly,
The good thing is it doesn't have to be in flying conditions.
Right, exactly. So we contacted the Pensacola, the National Naval Aerospace Museum, and they said got it. We asked them if they had a lead on any maybe spare parts or wing mount. They said no, you guys are in the same boat that we are. They fight the same issues, and basically gave us a good luck. And whatever repairs that we do, just keep them abreast. But we have full authority to repair the aircraft as we see fit. So that's all I needed to hear.
I've dealt a lot with airplanes over the years. It's hard to fix corrosion. It's a big job.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you got anything else, Mike?
I do not.
Okay, before we go into executive session, does anyone have anything else? Okay, in that case, we'll consider ourselves in executive session, and y'all would turn the feed off to the outside world for just a little bit. I'd appreciate it, okay?
Yes, sir. We'll let you know when we're closed down and we're ready to go.
Okay, Larry, thank you.
Good, Chris.
We're live.
Okay, discussion, no action, no pay, no taken. That said, is there anything Larry, I appreciate
Yes, sir. Acknowledge.
All right. We have a motion. All right. I heard a second.